Good afternoon. Welcome everyone to another installment of our Fridays with Friends, where we welcome another one of our community partners who assist people in need in Broward County in order to feature some of the services that they provide in the hopes that maybe it'll be information that is useful to you or someone you know. I'm joined here today by three different members of Family Success, who is a vital community partner to us at Legal Aid. I'm joined by Audrey Yoon. I'm joined by Shatara Piedrasanta and Mumford Alexis, who are all going to take a different turn to explain a different level of services and things that they provide over at their organization. I'm so happy to have you guys here today. Thank you, Audrey, for joining us.
Thank you so much. And I'm just really happy that you all have gotten with us. We're partners, and this is something that would definitely be a joy for us to share with the community. What I'd like to start with is that we take in consideration that we know we're in some really heavy times with our service being needed, and that our clients come in and they are stressed and they're needing to have that service right away. But they do have to comply with the qualifications that we have for them. And those qualifications are that they need a written threat of eviction. If this is about rent or mortgage, they need a default statement from a mortgage company showing that their mortgage is in trouble. And they need to be able to show us that if being assisted, that they will be able to continue making those payments that they need to continue their residence. The other thing is that we have people who are needing services for lights. Their electricity is being cut off. They need to have a bill that shows if their name is on that bill, and that their name is on the application. That is the name. They have to match the name for both. And that's the same with rent and mortgage. They would have to have that name that would be matching for the person who's responsible. What happens is that if they have a household of children and other members of the household, every member would have to have a Social Security card, and they would have to show their ID, their information. And the other thing is that they would have to also show us if they have an interruption of work, if they're going to be able to return to work, if the employer can send a statement saying that that job is being held for them, or that they have a new job that they can be able to supplement the loss of income and move forward. The main thing is to do self-sufficiency. That's our aim for them, is to show that they can sustain themselves, and it's for their being able to be self-sufficient. Their ability to pay a bill that has been over 180 days, they have to show what happened during that time. They have to give some proof of information. And I think, let's see, I think what happens, we would like to make sure that if they are needing to have other services, we work with all of our partners throughout the Broward County, and we would like to refer them to other services to make sure that they have a stable service, a stable ability to move forward. And so some of our partners are Children's Services, and Hispanic Unity, Urban League, and a few others that we hold dearly, that we work together and we exchange, whatever services we can to make sure that we're stabilizing those clients. And now that, and the fact that you all are our partner too, we're enjoying that too, that we can, because they do come with all kinds of problems, and they need to feel that once they leave, they have some security. They feel certain that they can move forward, because we are in some trying times, and everybody is a little tense, not just their health, but they need to be able to make sure they maintain their families and their home.
Can I jump in?
Sure.
You're sharing a lot of great information, Audrey. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I would like to ask if we can pull up the PowerPoint. That way we can move through the different services that we provide so that people can have an idea of
That's
kind of what
great.
we do. And then we can continue because you're providing a lot of great information. Oh, actually, do you have both PowerPoints? I'm sorry.
You got the
This one.
human services. Yeah.
Great. And so I think, if we just, and
There
we'll
it
go
is.
through it rather quickly, but the idea is so that they have an understanding of the services that we provide so that it'll make sense when you're talking about the
Yeah,
eligibility.
the visual
If
is
they're
good.
not familiar with family success. And so I know that Shana introduced me earlier, but I'm Shatara Piedrasanta. And the three of us are actually with the Community Action Agency, which is one section that falls under family success. And so what I'm going to do is, as I said, I'm going to go through some of the services that we provide at Family Success. And then Mumford's also going to talk about specifically about Community Action Agency, and Audrey will jump in and providing information as well. And so you'll hear from all of us. And if at any point, Shana, if you need to stop us or if you have questions, just let us know. But we're going to try to just go through the PowerPoint so that people can have a feel of who family success is. And as you can see on the first slide, it just talks about our vision and our mission. And Audrey touched on that a little bit. And so our vision is that that we'll have a cohesive community where all residents are self-sufficient. Now, I know self-sufficient might not be the right word that we want to use. We definitely want to work towards economic stability. We want to make sure that people are able to meet their basic needs and are thriving in the community. And so our mission is to provide assistance to individuals and families in achieving economic and social stability. And so Family Success does, we are local government. We fall under Broward County and we're within the Human Services Department. And so the services that we offer include emergency assistance. And so Audrey was talking a little bit about the eligibility for that. We're able to do rent assistance as well as utility assistance to Broward County residents. There's no income eligibility criteria. So, you don't have to be low income or meet a certain criteria, except for be a Broward County resident. And then some of the other things that Audrey mentioned, like if there has to be a disruption in your income, meaning you could have lost a job, there could have been an incident, let's say an unexpected medical crisis or something like that, that interrupted your income, then you may qualify for services. We also have the Community Action Agency, and within the Community Action Agency, we have the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. So Audrey talked a little bit about the paying light bills. That falls under that program. And that one does have an income criteria to it. We also have the Community Services Block Grant, where we can help people go back to school and provide other ancillary services. And so that's kind of what Community Action Agency do. And Mumford will talk a little bit more about that. Now, we also have the Housing Options Program. That program actually has recently moved out of our division, but they still provide services. And we'll touch on that a little bit because they are a part of the homeless continuum of care. And then we have our financial coaching program called the Financial Capability Program.
And that program is not available until next year,
Right.
the first of next year. We don't have a date on it yet, but that program is not available now, but it will be available after the first of the year.
Thank you. And so,
go ahead.
Sorry, within Family Success, we have 4 centers. And so we're strategically placed throughout the county. We have an office in Fort Lauderdale, and that's our main office where the administration is located, but we do provide services out of this office. This is also the Community Action headquarters and the Financial Capability headquarters. We have an office in Coral Springs and Pompano, and then we have one south in Hollywood. And so people, depending on where they live, they can access services from either of those locations. And so Audrey kind of talked a little bit about this. She talked about the rental assistance piece, and the fact that it's a one-time thing. It's not like we'll continue to pay your bill. And so the idea is that we provide this assistance so that you can continue to maintain your stability. And so some of the criteria may have changed, just because, as you know, there has been a lot of adaptation that we've had to do just because of COVID, and then the crisis that it caused, just with the high costs of rent, high costs of food. And so some of our policies are changing a little bit. As I said, we do have I'm sorry, I didn't say that, but I'll tell you a little bit about it later. We do have an orientation online, and that'll go through everything that you need to know when you go through that orientation. One of the things that we do when we provide assistance, and if you don't mind going to the next slide, is we do look at the fair market housing rate. Now, we know that that has been a challenge. As you may know, prices have skyrocketed. We have people who are losing their housing because either the landlord is going up on their rent, like $400 or more. We have people who are selling, and so they're displacing tenants. And so, you know, we are cognizant of that. And so we do take that into consideration, but we do want to make sure that people are in affordable housing. And I use that word loosely because it has been a challenge to find decent affordable housing. But basically, we do look at the fair housing rate, the fair market rate, because we want to make sure that what you're paying is reasonable. And then we can go to the next slide. And so this just talks about the centers. And as Audrey said, we have to work with partners. No one organization can do everything. And so within our centers, we have some partners located on site. And some of them are Broward County partners. So for instance, one of the things that's listed here is our Elderly and Veteran Services Division, and that is a Broward County organization. But we also at times have other partners who are from the community that comes to our sites one day a week, or we refer out to their services. And so the next couple of slides just basically talks a little bit about the services that are accessed through our sites. And so for North, it talks about the health department, because there's a health department connected to our Pompano office, as well as all the services within Family Success are accessible through that center. We also have the Northwest, which is our Coral Springs office. In addition to those same services, they also have legal aid on site. They have a WIC office and other services available. And then if we can go to the next slide. In our South office, again, legal aid, we have BARC as well. We provide financial capability services out of that office. And then, as I said prior, our Mill Center, or our Fort Lauderdale Center, is our main location. So that's where administration is located, as well as community action administration. And so, you know, we have all the Family Success Centers. We also have a health department. We have the WIC department and some other services. We have BARC Outpatient, and BARC stands for Broward Addiction and Recovery Center. And so they provide addiction and recovery services, their outpatient services out of this office as well. And then the Community Action Agency, as I mentioned, we have two programs. One is our Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. And I'm going to go over this, you know, rather quickly, just because there are some things on here that has changed. For instance, it says that we're at 150% of the poverty level. Well, right now, we're using the state median income. And so it's a little higher than the 150% poverty level, except for when you get to a family of 9 or above. And so again, we're going to tell you how to access our website. And on our website, we do have our current income criteria listed. And so you'll be able to access that information from the website. And then the next page talks about our community services block grant, and Montfort will talk a little bit more about that. But as I said before, we're able to provide education and training and other ancillary services to prevent barriers from you succeeding. And so we're able to do bus passes, we're able to provide some childcare assistance, and of course it's temporary because our funds are limited. But then we try to link you to other services like the Early Learning Coalition that provides childcare assistance funding. And so the Community Services Block Grant does have an income criteria. And on here it says 125%. However, currently we can serve anyone who's at 200% of the poverty guideline or lower. And so this was born out of the crisis, the COVID pandemic. And so they increased our income criteria so that we can serve additional people. Now that may change, but again, as of now, that is our income criteria. And we always try to update that information on our website. So if it changes, you can, well, if you have questions, you can refer to our website and you can see what the current criteria is. And I'm sorry, I'm going through it quickly. So if anybody wants to jump in or slow me down, just let me know.
Well, what I was thinking is that perhaps that would be an opportunity to have Mumford come in on that.
Well, he does have the slides, so he's gonna do it there.
Okay.
Unless if he wants to jump in right there, but it's up to him.
No, I will wait.
Okay.
So our financial capability program, Audrey mentioned this earlier. Right now, we are not accepting any customers. And so we do have a wait list and we do have that posted on our website. But our financial capability program integrates financial resources and information into our division. And so in addition to being able to provide services for our customers, as you heard before, like we deal with people who may be in crisis because they're looking for emergency rental assistance, additional assistance with their light bill or trying to go back to school to increase their income. And so what we have is a financial capability, financial capability program that can provide services like budgeting and other services. And so normally we would do workshops that are offered throughout the month. And then we also have one-on-one coaching. And so people have the option of signing up for one-on-one coaching and meeting with the coach, or just attending our general workshops that we provide. But as I said, currently, we're not accepting any additional customers, and we're not providing any workshops at this time. We anticipate starting back early in the new year in 2023. And so we will keep you guys posted. We do update our website. And so as I said before, you can refer to our website and we will go over that a little later. And again, this just gives you a little bit of information about the financial capability program. So the coaches try to help you understand your options, design a financial plan, establish credit, develop a budget, and build confidence in your financial abilities.
All right, housing options. Are you going to explain that one too, right?
Yes. So our housing options, it's not currently under Family Success. However, they're still located on site and work with us. But as I mentioned before, they are part of the homeless continuum of care. And so they address homelessness through coordinated and unified processes, working with other organizations. And so basically what happens is people who are experiencing homelessness, they would go through the homeless hotline. And we do have that information listed here. And so the homeless hotline is able to assist families with locating which shelters and services are available to meet their needs. And as you know, we do have a homelessness crisis in Broward, but nothing that we can address right now. And then this again talks about a little bit more about housing options. Their name has changed. Now it's Housing Options Solutions and Support Division. And so they are under a new division with similar services. And so all the continuum of care services that Broward County offered fall under that division.
And then let me interrupt here for just a second. I really want to talk about how Housing Options has been such a jewel for us. I mean, they have really done great services for the community, and they have taken people who have maybe lived too long in a family home, and the family says, no, you got to go now. They've been able to take that situation and resolve it. So I'm really hoping that we stay really in touch with them.
Yeah.
And
So they have several different funding streams that they're able to access in order to meet families' needs. And so it's not just about placement. They also have services, some provide intensive case management and other services that are available depending on the level of care needed. And then in the next slide, one of the things that that Housing Options also provide is the Family Reunification Program. And so this is one of those situations where maybe a Broward County resident have a family member in another state that's willing to accept them into their home, but they have no way to get there. And so the Family Reunification Program is able to provide one-way travel to that family who's able to assist this family and meet their needs.
And Shana, that might be something really interesting for you guys to remember, because you probably will have some situations like that.
Mhm.
I'm definitely taking note of all of the resources, especially at, in addition to you guys, the fact that there's also the Housing Options Program again.
Yeah.
It really takes a village. We say it all the time
doesn't.
on here. And just as you pointed out, Audrey, that they're a jewel to you guys. You guys are a jewel to us. So we definitely send a lot of people in your direction. Sometimes
Great.
we are dealing with victims of domestic violence who now they are no longer able to live in their home. So it's not a typical interruption of income, so to speak, but it is. They go from being a 2-income household to a 1-income household. And
Absolutely.
we often have to send them your way. And we do explain that the one caveat is that you're going to have to show that you'll be able to basically pay the rent next month,
Right.
like that you're not going to be a revolving door. And they more than understand that, and grateful for any services and anything you're able to provide. So thank you so much.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing that, because that's correct. It's not always an interruption of income. Sometimes there's special situations where a family may need assistance and they may qualify for one of the services that fall within family success. And so,
especially for domestic violence.
right.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. I know that Montfort, there is another PowerPoint that we're going to pull up, but one of the things that was not on the PowerPoint that we just shared is Broward County also has dollars for the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. And many of you may be familiar with that, but that program was born out of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so the idea is the funds are allocated to residents who are suffering financially, and whether that was during the pandemic or as a result of the pandemic. And so, there's a website for that specifically for the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, as well as a phone number. And so we will have that plastered on one of the slides, as well as if we have time, we'll try to pull up Broward County's website so that you guys can see how to navigate through it.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to Legal Aid for hosting us today. And in order to share information, valuable information with you. So I am Montfort Alexis. I am basically with Broward County Human Services Department and Family Success Administration Division, and the agency I will present on today is Community Action Agency. I'm going to share with you all the information pertaining to qualification and eligibility and so forth. So thank you very much. And having said that, how much time do we have left?
I think we definitely have at least a few minutes. We have at least 5 to 10 minutes left.
Oh, that should be good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I will try to concise the information within that time. So you can go to the next slide for me. And so this will be with you, will be posted there. So you can, this is our mission for Community Action Agency in Broward County. So basically the most important word here is we promote economic self-sufficiency, economic stability. So this is all the services we provide are geared towards helping people to become self-sufficient. Next. Basically, we use the federal poverty guideline of the 200%. I know Shatara touched on that a little bit. So that could be subject to change in the next few months. We don't know yet. However, as it stands now, we use the 200% poverty guideline. And so this is the admission process. We have a virtual orientation for the public online, basically through Zoom, every first Friday of every month. So every month, the first Friday, we hold a virtual Zoom orientation for the customers. And we share basically about the same information. And they need to register on with at this site, Broward County, Broward.org, www.broward.org, and Family Success and so forth. So this is the site for them to register, or they can contact our administrative assistant, Shedley Etienne, at 954-357-5805. All the income, I know Audrey and Shatara also spoke about that, so we don't have to spend a lot of time on that. So as far as income is concerned, which is one of the main qualifying factors, so we consider income, wages and salaries, gross income, that's what we consider, and child support and so forth, social security, earned and unearned income. That's what we consider to look at the household income and make a decision on the qualification. Next. The primary objective of the program, of all the services that we provide, basically so is to help our customers become self-sufficient or reach a certain level of economic stability. Next. Services provided to achieve the goals: education, transportation, daycare. Daycare can be offered for 2 reasons. So first, if they are in school, we are paying for education, or they are in school or they receive the financial aid from other sources. They are in school, we can help them with daycare. This is one of the most important needs, I would say. Actually, they need to have daycare as they go to work or they are in school. So we can provide daycare for school, or if they are employed, we can also assist them temporarily. We work basically with many clients or customers who are on the waiting list for ELC. They are waiting for ELC to approve them. In the meantime, they need daycare assistance to go about or to continue working. And that's what we do. We can intervene to adjust or to fill this gap while they are waiting for ELC to approve them. So this temporary daycare for employment, it can last up to 1 year. And within that time, ELC will basically make a decision. So two reasons we provide daycare for school and employment. Case management that entails many other services, supporting services. Shatara and Audrey spoke about many of them, all the supporting services, housing. We have a housing component on site to also have people secure affordable housing, and employment services for those who are looking for a job and who would like to be more professional or have all the techniques, and financial literacy and emergency assistance. Next. So as far as eligibility is concerned, so first major one is residents need to show that they live in Broward County. We consider the gross income at or below 200% of the federal poverty guideline. And there are some other requirements. We consider 1 month of income, the last month. So we look at the pay stubs for the past 30 days. And that's how we make the decision as far as the income is concerned. If they are in school, we want to see school documentation, admission letter or registration, also school cost. And as far as other documents are concerned, Florida ID, Social Security, birth certificates for children, and so forth. Next. Earned and unearned income, and if they are unemployed or they received assistance, so we need some documentation from anyone who helps them. And food stamps, housing agreements, and rental or mortgage statement. Next. So we use the public institutions in Broward County, such as Broward College and Florida Atlantic University. Sometimes we receive demands for schools in Broward, in Palm Beach or Miami-Dade. It's very difficult to work with them because they require some pre-agreements, which we don't have the ability to do. For that reason, it's very hard to work with schools in Miami and in Palm Beach. But as far as the schools in here, the colleges and the technical colleges, so we have good partnership with them. We are able to pay for tuition and books and supplies at these schools. Next. That's the main number for our program, and the main office is in Fort Lauderdale at this address, 900 Northwest 31st Avenue in Fort Lauderdale. We are at Suite 3100. There are 4 locations. All the family success centers that Shatara has mentioned has also holds a community action agency representative. Therefore, in any center in Broward County, the 4 centers in Broward County, there is a human services coordinator for community action agency. Next. And that's what Shatara has mentioned. So as far as additional information for Community Action Agency on the website, this website will provide the customers with some valuable information, additional information on our program, on the services that we offer.
Okay.
And still that's Community Action Agency and services
On the
and
website.
forth. And next, that's on the main page as well for FSCD. And I don't know if Shata wants to add additional information, but as far as I am concerned, so thank you very much. My presentation ends so here. And thank you. I'm Montfort Alexis. Any question, you can always contact me and or contact my boss, Shata Abdi-Jacinta. And I want to thank Legal Aid and Audrey for putting this together. Thank you very much. And I look forward to working with Legal Aid to address the needs of our customers, our residents in Broward County. Thank you.
Well, Shana, thank you so much for a wonderful time with, sharing information. And hopefully we'll be working together real soon.
Yes. Thank you to all three of you for all
Yeah.
providing such useful information to our community. I'm sure there's plenty of members who didn't know about the great work that you do that are very pleasantly surprised to hear about it. But I know that there's even more countless residents that have benefited from your services that are
Thank
very
you.
well aware of the good that you do. So we're just glad that we got to feature you today on our Fridays with Friends.
Thank you so much, Shana.
Thank you, everyone, for
And
joining us
Jeff.
today. And of course, always to the rest of the people over at Coast to Coast who make this happen. Our
Yeah.
team, Victoria Sexton and Jeff Hiddleman,
Oh,
help
yes.
our live Fridays with Friends go live smoothly. So thank you to them too. And thank you all for joining us and listening
All
today.
righty. Have a great
you.
weekend.
Thanks.